computer. Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to today's interview bootcamp. So many questions I saw during the week, and I have some questions also on my phone, and I'm going to be going straight into these questions. When we get to what's the time now? 11:08. When we get to 11:50, I will stop, or maybe 11:55, I will stop, and we'll round up the class, get the recording to you, and in the class, you drop as many questions. This interview out there is getting a little more detailed, not technical. Thank God for that. All right. Let me start. Somebody can please send Jermaine, the link to this class, please. He's asking, and I do not want to go into sharing links now. Somebody help me if you can find Jermaine Paul from the internship class. Send him the link to this class. So good morning. The first question that I'll pose here, like a recruiter, will be like, please, Tracy Toloda, you're welcome to this interview. How are you doing? Tracy's like, I'm fine, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Looking forward to, really enjoy this interview and sometime get to work with you all. Oh, nice, Tracy. So can you go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know you? Tell us about your Agile journey and what did you do prior to becoming a Scrum Master? Awesome. I wouldn't want to use my name. Awesome. My name is Jane Moore, and I live in St. Louis, Missouri. I came into the United States about 20 years ago, really young, and got into college, wanted to pursue a nursing degree. I actually got into nursing, and all my friends there were in the nursing. It was exciting. It was all I knew. But during my third year and second year, I began to kind of show some skill sets that were kind of hidden. Sometimes you just find yourself doing some things and more empathic, you like to communicate, you like to facilitate, you like to remove conflicts. And these skill sets were just coming out because also as a nursing student, I work with clients, I work with people. And there was one instance I met an Agile coach who happens to be a friend. And she said, you'll be a great Scrum Master. And I was like, oh, what's that? Scrum Master. I said, it's Agile. It's a software delivery of mindset where you actually inspect and adapt your work all through incremental delivery, transparency. And he says so many good things about this phase, this SDLC phase that come in play in an Agile environment. And I'm like, I would like to learn more about this, okay? And he said, learn more about it. And if you need support, I'm here to mentor you, coach you as an Agile coach. That is what we do. We mentor and coach in an organization and also outside organizations. And guess what? I went to do self-study. I loved the mindset. I loved the Agile framework. And I got certified, took the training, and I got certified as a Scrum Master. I was really excited, and I said I needed more mentoring because I'm this kind of person who really want to be grounded in anything I do, especially coming from a project management environment. And I told him, I said, can you link me up with more mentorship? And if you want to mentor me, that's great. And he said, no problem, I'm going to mentor you. I joined his class 6 weeks. I got all the mentoring. I got excited, and I made up my mind to switch, even if I have to continue my education in my college, I was going to switch to Agile management, IT management, just to, boost my journey and my transition from healthcare to IT environment to project management, Agile project management. This was really possible. This was possible. I was able to schedule myself and begin to take classes just to boost myself in this journey. And guess what? After the mentoring and the coaching, I was really, really grounded. I now understand the Agile mindset and the Scrum framework and other framework like the Extreme programming, Kanban, Lean practice, and Scale. On the surface, I understood this whole framework, but I was kind of an expert in the Scrum environment. I wanted employment. I wanted to be employed as a Scrum Master. And guess what? I sought for employment with TC Resource. I was hired. Again, I was really excited because I think I found my place, a place where I can remove conflict, where I can help support team, and where I can actually bring out all these traits in me that I've been trying to use in my healthcare environment. I got hired, got my offer letter. It was very attractive and very good. I got into this team. The team dynamics was great. The team composition was, they were all over the world. They were not just in one place. They were in India, America, UK, Germany. And I was like, yes, I'm ready for this, because this was all the things I learned during my mentoring years. I was able to help the team. Even though we have different time zone, I was able to support the team, bring them together. When we have the same time together, we're able to do a whole lot, like moving our discovery meeting from the evening, afternoon, when you have to engage SMEs. Now we brought it to the morning time, just because we wanted to have everybody on board, but people that have time zone, when they're in the evening, you are in the morning. I was able to merge all that, and that was really important. And also I was able to help the team finally transform from waterfall to agile. I was able to implement this process, the agile the agile time box events. I was able to help the team understand that it was important, and also help the team facilitate, coach. I brought out, I was able to find gaps in the team, and during some of the sprints, not all the sprints, because you don't want to crowd the team. I was able to do some agile one-on-one workshop, one-on-ones, coaching, mentoring, and teaching. You know, at the time, as a Scrum Master, you have to wear different hats as mentor, coach, teacher, you know, and support the team. I also was able to support my PO, you know, who come from a project management environment during backlog refinement. That was something I really needed him to support him to understand how to prioritize backlog and estimation. I had to coach the team. I'm saying all this because these were most of the practices every Scrum Master will do, but my team really needed this support. And again, my project was all migration, you know, from Azure to cloud. We're migrating database. But after this was a contract role, and after the contract, I sought out another employment with digital banks. It was an easy process, but I got the job because my contract ended and I got in the market. I got the job with digital banks, but this time was a senior Scrum Master. You know, now it's kind of more. I had multiple teams. I was ready because when you get experience over the years, it's just empiricism. You keep repeating this agile best practices and keep inspecting and adapt your own agile transformation mindset, your own agile transformation roadmap, because when you get into any organization, you want to have that transformation roadmap. You collaborate with your PO, with your BAs. Collaboration is very important, because with that, you don't want to do it alone. And sometimes you go organization level, you want to collaborate also with some key pointers and be able to bring transformation. So this team was multiple teams. Again, they were distributed all around, not just in one country. You hardly find any team that is not distributed. And I was able to help them with the transformation. They were a little matured in Agile, but I was able to plan the timing so we can have our daily Scrum, our sprint review, our retrospective, our demo stroke reviews. And I went through all the SDLC phase with them, you know, going through the discovery phase, which is important in all projects. You have to discover before you can recover any data from any project. You really have to go through those processes. The SDLC phase is where, you know, the discovery again, and designing, testing, migrating, implementing, and maintenance. Interesting project, really big project, but this time it was more of moving. Our epic was really big, and we have like 10 features under this epic, and we're migrating everything. These were metadata, data that contain other data, you know, personal data. You know how sensitive this can be. Moving them from one SharePoint environment and moving them to a new environment. And, you know, this involved designing, you know, recreating the old environment and shutting down the old SharePoint environment. I can go more details in this. But, you know, that's an overview of my journey so far with these two organizations. coming from the healthcare organization and just diving into Agile. One thing I know, Agile is one of the most beautiful framework mindset you can think of, and you can use it even in your house, in your kitchen, in your home, in your personal project. It's all incremental delivery, go slow and steady, watching the team health, watching yourself. It helps you personally, and it helps you not overcommit, not overload yourself, and it helps you continuous improvement. Inspect, adapt, do a little, look at it, look how you can improve. And there is no end to improvement. And that makes me say Scrum Master will ever be relevant, because there is no end point to improvement. Even when your team becomes matured in Agile, there is still room for improvement. You look at the gaps, you support the team, you help the team, you in that process, you're supporting the organization. So far, that's my journey and my testimony as an Agile evangelist. I am a lifelong learner, and Agile has really helped me personally, and also helped me to build my team and make them meet their timeline, their goals, and their projects, their project goal and their timeline. I don't want to repeat that ending, but that's kind of how you end that introduction, because you can, if you make it longer than this, if you make it shorter than this, if you make your introduction shorter than this, they're going to have more questions to ask you. Thank God it's recorded. You can listen to it and build your introduction. Let it contain as much as you want it to contain. Don't be scared but don't talk too slow. Be a little fast so you can add as many ingredients to your introduction. And make sure you don't make it too short, and make sure you don't make it too long. At the end, say you help your team to meet their project goals. And you say, again, thank you. That's kind of an overview of my journey and my introduction. And the interviewer will be like, wow, thank you. That really was a lot. That was a lot. And wow, your journey is kind of remarkable, with TC Resource and digital banks and your project and the timeline, and you coming from healthcare. Awesome. And I think I'll have another question for you. I remember you talk about digital banks and how you really support the team. Was there any time, you had to come in, maybe your team, you find something they're not really good at, you find a deficiency in the team, maybe estimation or whatever, anything else you can notice a gap in the team? What did you do? What was your approach to close those gaps? Wow, I love this question. And yes, I want to quickly say something before I move further. Where did you guys drop? Who dropped the link for the interview prep?
I did.
Where did you drop it?
The interview class, I believe.
Oh, it was in the internship class. But no problem. The internship class, that's where we have Jermaine. Oh, Jermaine is here already. Okay, I think it still works. But yes, you want to drop it in the internship class. People that need to level up with the interview class. The interview class, they have everything. But another meeting, you help me drop it in the interview class. If you still have time, you can still drop in the interview class as I go in the internship. As I go into the second question. All right, so yeah, what do you do when you find gaps? Well, what's your approach? Wow, thank you. Thank you for this question. I will really say this, Scrum Master. When you want to say thank you, find different way to accept the question, and do not rush your thank you. Let them not be like, oh, when you find gaps in your team, what do you do? And you say, oh, when I find gaps in my team, oh, okay, again, now, thank you. Get past that place, get past that place when they ask a question and you started the question there, halfway you come back and say, oh, okay, yes, so thank you for the question. It seems like you are learning, please. So now let me ask the question again. So yes, Miss Jane Moore, when you find gaps in your team and there's some things that's missing in your team, what's your approach to close this gap? I'll be like, wow, love this question, and thank you for this question. Okay, so finding gaps in my team is being proactive, right? And I encourage every Scrum Master, always watch out. Somehow you will always find gaps, because we're actually doing continuous improvement, right? We are continually improving this team, the process. We are building the process. We're improving the process. So I think it's something you look out for. So it's not like when, it's always a gap, something you have to improve. If it's something that concerns the agile framework, agile mindset, please set up one-on-one meetings or set up workshop. Agile, like recently in my team, I discovered that my new intake, the new BAs, I found out that they did not even understand how to add tasks to a story. See, there's always one thing, and there's somebody new in the team. I didn't want them to feel like, oh, I'm just pinpointing you because you don't understand the process. I didn't want them to feel that way. Guess what? What did I do? I collaborated. I told you about collaboration. You know, I talked about collaboration. It's so important. I collaborated with my agile coach. I have an agile coach who is so awesome. But if you don't have an agile coach, you collaborate with your PO and say you want to set up a meeting to run through whatever gap you notice. Run through, set up a meeting. Set up a meeting to have an agile workshop, agile one-on-one, Scrum one-on-one. And in the description of the meeting, please let them know ahead of time expectations for the meeting, metrics, story point, acceptance criteria. List it. It will keep them ready to learn. There's so many things. And first of all, I make sure I am grounded in this thing, because I'm grounded in them. It's easy for me to list out expectation for the workshop, and call it a workshop. Sometimes if you want to get everybody together, at least 1 hour, call it a workshop, because now you're creating expectation. You're making them know that we're not just coming to have a meeting. We're not just coming to talk, we're coming to train. And it will really add value. And make sure these meetings are not going to conflict with your Scrum meetings. I always do these meetings a little early before the work day. So whatever they learn from the meeting, they can really apply it during the day. It helps a whole lot. So this is instances. This is best practice. Set up workshop, Agile 101. Sometimes you want to share understanding. You want to share understanding. You don't want to just do one-on-one and coach that person. You want to coach the team, and later make the floor open for anybody to meet up with you for more questions. If they have more questions, even after answering questions in the floor, or if they have more doubt and they need more personal learning. So yeah, this has really worked for my team. Wow, Jane Mon, that's awesome. Agile 101, Scrum 101, and all that. And also give description of your meeting, detailed description to set expectation. I love that. Okay, this leads me to another question. If you have a teammate, one teammate or two teammates that are really, really not wanting to follow the process, they really don't want to be in your retro. They don't want to be in maybe some of your daily Scrum and all that. And what do you do? Because this is really like common in teams. Wow, this is really common. I want to say it again, thank you. I love this question because this is real life. And so I'm going to kind of go with how I actually approach my team. And even though this is an approach for every team that I encourage, I still have more approaches. My first approach is actually getting into a team. I'm new in the team. I'm 1 day in the team. From that day one, looking at all the faces and building my agile transformation journey. It's a roadmap. It's either I build it physically with the team or build it mentally. But the first thing I do, even before bringing this idea out to the team, is to continue to build relationship with everybody in this team. I tell you, when you have great relationship with your team, please, Gia, can you mute? When you build great relationship with your teammates, you can pull out your agile transformation roadmap and make your team understand the importance of you being there. Yes, we've been doing waterfall. Now the organization wants us to move gradually into agile. No hurry, no stress, but you're going to join me in this journey. If you have any problem with the process, let me know. I will let you know why we need to do sprint planning. We need to do retro. We need to look at metrics. That is going to be my agile transformation roadmap for team level. As an agile, if I'm an agile coach, I will have organization level, but again, I will collaborate. First of all, build relationship, my PO, who are the key people in the team that will help me in this project. Because if you as a Scrum Master getting a team and your PO cannot stand, you think you came to take his job, your transformation roadmap or plan will not work. I build relationship. I create a roadmap for the team. This fourth sprint, we'll have an Agile 101, understand metrics. Next sprint, sprint 2, we'll have a workshop of 30 minutes or a quick meetup of 30 minutes to understand estimation. Do not rush your team. Do not crowd your team. Do not make them feel like you're better than them. Do not make them feel like Agile is better than Waterfall. Just point out the importance of Agile to my team. That is what I do. Because some people are waterfall evangelists. And when you come in, you begin to explain how the health check of the team matters, how it's people over process, how we have respect, focus, how we continually improve. When you begin to speak the great importance and benefit of Agile, you begin to have a buy-in. You begin to buy these people over to you. When people continuously listen to you like a mentor, like a coach, very positive, not bringing anyone down to uplift your Agile, they will begin to relax all their tentacles that they want to use to fight you, to oppose you. Because I tell you, most times you get into a team, there's going to be that one person. You know, I had an instance where an architect told me, you can never make me believe Agile. But right now, he's so cool and mellow and flowing with everything. When I first got in, sometimes that's why I said the question. Thank you for the question. Sometimes I do a little prayer for him before I go to these meetings. Wow, that's nice, Tracy. Yeah, because he was becoming a blocker, and he said I cannot convince him to love Agile. I'm like, you're gonna learn. I'm gonna be persuasive, build relationship with you. Sometimes I ask him, how is your weather? How is it? We'll be like, oh, I'm in the garden. Saturday is my wife. Now build relationship is my wife. That's making me go to the garden. I'm like, wow, that's nice. Build relationship with him and be persuasive and show him the good side of Agile. Agile is so beautiful. It has so much balance. It helps you. If it cannot help you, how can it help your team? And that is how you preach Agile. And that is how you introduce Agile. To those people who don't want to come to a meeting, you let them know the benefit of them coming to the meeting. You let them know how Agile can work for them in their private life and work for the team. And you let them know that even when we make mistake, we learn from the mistake and move forward and win together and continue to improve. Who wouldn't want to hear those positive words? You keep trying, and if at the end of the day the person is not listening, you know when you don't on your best, you can escalate it to management, immediate management. But again, in most cases, when I try this, because I have all the skill set to show my team the positive, the gains and the advantage of Agile and the process, and have a roadmap that's sustainable. You don't want to have a roadmap. I had somebody in my community of practice who said he had a big fight with their PO. I was like, drink some water. You don't need to have a big fight. You don't need to have a big fight. Give them time, give them buffer, give them space. Be persuasive, be always positive, and be that change agent that you are. Because when you fight people, how are you a change agent? You are actually forcing your way. So yeah, I don't want to go further, but this is how I approach people who don't want to flow with the Agile process. And it really works for me. Building relationship, be very positive, be the mentor and lead by example, and always show them the advantage of Agile and tell them, let's try, be persuasive. And lastly, have an Agile transformation roadmap that you show to the team for visibility, and let it be sustainable. Let it not be like you're forcing them to have 2 hours meeting. They're going to sleep off that meeting. Let it be a sustainable process and transformation. Wow, that's awesome. And yeah, thank you. That's awesome. And that will lead me to my next question. And I have so many questions. Yeah, let me go. Okay. Tell me, that leads me to my next question, which will be like, tell me how you facilitate your daily Scrum. What do you actually do your daily Scrum? Wow, I love this question. It's kind of easy, you know, I'm able to just dive in. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the question. I love the question. Yeah, my daily scrum actually, and previously we used to go about years ago, like 2, 3 years, go about our daily scrum and just be like, oh, good morning. Tell me what you did today, what you did yesterday, and what are you working on today? And we found this became like a music, you know, we wanted to make it more effective. And Scrum is continuous improvement. We continuously improve the process. And now what I do is even before the Scrum call, I go to my collaborating space where we have all our collaboration going and everybody in the team is there. Even our line managers are there, which is awesome. And as soon as they know you are in control of your team, you don't even hear from them. They're there, they see all the chats, they see all the happy new year, you know, happy birthday, and please update your board. They see all the communication there, but they don't intrude again because now they know that you got it, you're good. And that's my experience with my TC resource, where and digital banks, where I'm leaving. My contract is almost over in month end. By the end of the month, my contract will be over, will be done. I'll be done with digital banks and moving into another organization. And I'm hoping it's your organization. So yes, so that collaborating space, which is Teams, it's really awesome. Before the daily scrum, I'm already there. Good morning, team, because these are people all over the world working even before you wake up. Good morning, team. How are you doing today? Hope you had a nice rest. And that is how a scrum master should approach daily, you know, like every other day. Like sometimes it can be daily, depending if you have issues and risks and priorities that you've been working on and you know the team is really working out. You go there to like pump them up, you know, or again, like a coach, you know. And you go there, be like, team, good morning. Remember, you know, you give them heads up what's going on, you know. And if it's a team that's just kind of moving from waterfall to agile on that collaborating space, it can be Miro, it can be Teams, it can be the organization have different space. But my organization is Teams. And I just tell them, so good morning, you know, remember, update your task, let our burn down, let it continue to burn down. Good job, team. Thank you so much for the collaboration. You can even tag some of your teammates who did specific thing, but you lay a communication, you lead. Again, I am the steering of the team. Wherever I lead them, they go, and I'm leading them to become a high performing team. And that collaborating space is where I start before I even go into my daily scrum. Putting some great motivating message there. And then it's like 15 minutes or 20 minutes to my meeting. When I get in the meeting, they know that I'm not just rushing to a meeting. I already laid expectation in the collaborating space. And when they log in, I'll be like, you're welcome, good morning. With all my smile, I'm like, good evening, because you know some of your teammates, they are all distributed all over the world. Good evening, good morning, yes, you're welcome. Sometimes they don't even respond. These people are tired, they're working, and you are a very empathic person, you know. And you say, yes, let's see what's going on today, because you don't want to sound like a music every day. What are you working on? What are you working today? Working yesterday? Any impediment? You want to be more empathic, and also you want to make the flow really natural. You don't want to be like you're reading from a book. And what I actually do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and let's see our work for today. Look, our work item, and discuss impediments. And remember, I always set expectation during my meetings, and I will let them know. Remember, during the 16th minute, we're going to go into detailed discussion. So during the 16 minutes, if you're already giving your update for the day, you can drop off. But if you have more discussion, you can hang in so we can get into discussion. This works so much, you know. As a mentor, as a coach, I also tell Scrum Master, set expectation. If not, they're gonna move past that time box. They're gonna do their status, turn the daily Scrum to status report, where our daily Scrum is actually tracking impediments. I have my notebook where I always write down impediments, and I go in, I share my screen and tell them, you're welcome, you're welcome. I name the sprint, make sure we understand we're in sprint 35. So we don't think we're in 34 and mix it up, because there's so many sprints past sprint. And yes, welcome to sprint daily Scrum, sprint 35. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see our work item for today and track our impediments. You know, I set expectation. And when I share my screen, I begin to filter names. I filter, and I call the names and I make sure we discuss impediments. Sometimes they want to go details. I'll be like, just hold on. In our 16 minutes, we're going to go details. And during the 16 minutes is even wonderful. Sometimes most of those impediments can be taken care of. So that's how I run my daily Scrum. It's really detailed, but it's not more than 15 minutes. But the 16 minutes sometimes take another 15 minutes, and it's very effective. So basically, and I also coach Scrum Masters to go this way, set expectation before and even during the meeting, and make sure you keep the time box. And 16 minutes, discuss extensively. Some of the impediments will be, they'll be taken care of. Wow, thank you for that answer. Okay, great. I love how you set expectation for your daily Scrum, not just going how it is on this, just the Scrum guide. So then leads me again to another question. And it's about discourse, about conflict within teams. If you have two teammates that have conflict, disagreement, and what's your approach? How, have you had any situation like this? And what did you do? Wow, thank you. I love the question again. I love Scrum interview questions. When I go to interview recently, I love the questions that are coming in. Guys, let me chip this in. I don't like them. I just want to get the job right. But you want to be positive, because when you speak like that, you even tell your mind, you speak to your mind to, relax. You love them. You're good. Yes. So when I go to interview, I get these questions, these real life scenario questions. I love them because I'm able to express my environment. Yeah, discord and conflict is something that's common, in environment. It doesn't happen every day, but when you have a situation like that, what do you do? As a Scrum Master, it's very good for you to create a psychological safe environment where people can actually express themselves. But in the process of them expressing themselves, people can get offended. What do you do as a Scrum Master? I actually love to do root cause analysis, like find out what is the actual problem, because sometimes you hear two people arguing and you don't want to shut one down and say, no, you want to know exactly what's going on. And you can create another meeting. Instances, I had a situation with my developers during code review. This is a real life situation. And I found out that there were so many arguments and conflict during code review. I was like, they've been in this process even before I come in. Let me do some root cause analysis, find out what's going on. And I found out in their team charter, they wanted to have code review, but it's going to be commentary. They will have to comment to state if a code is good or if it's bad. Not knowing that even after agreeing to this way of reviewing their codes, they're going to have some people that are going to be stepped on and people are going to have problem. There's going to be conflict and discord. They didn't see that. Then I'm like, you know what? I now have to kind of find a way to reverse this, because I check this team charter and I'm like, we have to update this team charter. But what do? I need to have a meeting with the team, have a different alternative or a suggestion for the team. Once they agree, we'll be able to update, review the code review. Because if we continue to leave comments like, oh, bad comments, and maybe this person does not like that you are always saying my bad code, sorry, and somebody's always saying you are always looking forward to write comments on my code, and I'm going to wait for your code and say bad code too. And now it's like tit for tat. If we don't change this process, it's going to continue like this, and this will really hinder our sprint goal. And what did I do? I called the team together and told them that commentary is good, but sometimes I found out that comments can be a little offensive, especially if there's no good communication around comments. If it's just going to be written down there flat, people will have wrong impression that you're always looking forward to bring me down and stuff like that. And they agreed. And I said, why don't we find other ways? Like, we can use color. You guys can make it color code. We can have color. When the code is good, give it green, bright green. And when the code is bad, we give it red. And when it's kind of between, you give it orange, like amber or something between. Wow, my team applauded and said, yeah, let's go with that. I was so excited because, first of all, I thought we have to put in a lot of options before they can agree. But guess what? This color code kind of went with them. And I was like, now we can update our team charter Gonna be color code, no more no more comments that can be offensive and stuff like that, no more wrong impression, and we'll be able to move forward with our sprint. My team agreed, and I was able to bring the team back together, and I was really happy, and the team was happy, and now they saw that, oh no, I was not trying to get on the side of one person, and I just find alternative, and that is what we Scrum Master have to do. We always try to bring the team together and give suggestion. If they accept it, great. If they don't accept it, we keep working around suggestion that will work for the team, because we all as a team, we all kind of work together to win together. Because if one person is down, the team is down. And this really works for my team. That's how I was able to take away those conflicts. And yeah, we never had that situation again concerning during code review. Wow, that's awesome, Tracy. I love how you suggested, and the team was able to agree with you, and you guys moved past that conflict among team. Wow, code review can be really stressful. Yeah, after so much work. Wow, okay, so I have a few more questions, and I really want to know, I have a few more questions, but this one is really interesting. I want you to tell more about your project, maybe the 2 projects you talked about, and what was your process? What did you actually do? You can start with your TC resource, moving in that, maybe come to the very recent project where you had the metadata like you talked about, and what did you actually do during the process, the SDLC phases, as a Scrum Master? Whoa, thank you. I love this question. Again, I say when you ask this question, I light up because it takes me straight to my environment and what I did. And because I loved my 2 teams, and they're more than 2 teams, because the last team, there were like 3 teams that I had to manage when I support when I became a senior Scrum Master with digital bends. But now, yeah, that's the team you want me to talk about our project and what I actually did in the process, how I supported the team. Yeah, I hope I'm not going to speak too long, because I have so much to say about this, but I'll try and say the very, very important key things I did with the team, how I supported the team and all that, and talk about our SDLC phase. So yeah, we got onboarded into this project, got our statement of work, our scope of work, and SOW documentation or email, was excited, and we started onboarding the team because the project started from zero. Our Jira, our ADO, we used ADO, was already configured, so all we needed to do was just to start a project. But guess what? Like I said, you cannot start any project without discovery. Before you can recover recover or gather those requirements, then you'll be able to put your BRD together and start analysis and sprint. So they started onboarding. They onboarded 4 BAs. They've onboarded 2 BAs. I already understand the project, we understood the project and knew exactly what we're going to do. So the second 2 BAs, I was among people even introducing this project to them. Why? Because I started from the beginning. We got our architect and got 4 developers. All these team, they were spread all around the world. We didn't have 2 people in one, we didn't have everybody in one country. It was like three countries, I think. And it was really interesting project. But in the beginning, before we even started sprint, I started to find a way to unify this team, because I know how teams can work in silos when they are situated all around the world. If you don't intentionally build your team to work together, to mob stories together when necessary, swarm stories, and collaborate, high collaboration, you have problem, because they will begin to work in silos. So I intentionally put my own agile transformation roadmap together mentally. I did it because the new team were going to go through the forming stage, the storming stage, and all that. So I didn't really bother to show them my transformation roadmap, but I had it mentally, because I knew we'll have a roadmap, because I knew all these things were onboarded from different different environment, waterfall environment, ITIL, and wherever they're coming from, but we're all going to be in an agile team because my organization embraces agile like 110%. And that was really a blessing. And guess what? We started the SDLC phase as usual from the discovery, which is where everybody have to start from because we need to recover information that we use to plan a sprint. I supported the team through discovery because I wanted to get detailed information about the features. And I always encourage Scrum Masters, go all the way with discovery phase. It will help you understand the nitty-gritty of the project. And that was where we got in SMEs and got SME support. They were giving us all the details. And my BAs, they started to put up their documentation together. I supported them to get additional notes during the discovery phase. I call it when the three amigos gather, the Scrum team and the dev team, the SMEs, and the PO. I facilitated the process, the whole event to an extent, then left the BA to ask their questions so they can fill their questionnaire, their EIF form, electronic intake form. This is a form they use and they gather information, which they can use to build documents. When they build a document, they will send it back to the SME, to the user, to the customer, which we are building for, which we are migrating for. They will send this document back to them. They will validate it. That means they'll be like, yeah, this is good. If we send the document to them, our discovery phase took like 3-4 months because when we send this document to them, that this is what we gathered during the discovery phase, this is what you told us, and we wrote it down. We send the documents to them to sign it because that is going to be a document, a legal document. Sometimes they'll be like, no, this is not what we told you. This is not what we said. Oh my gosh, now we have another discovery again. We continue this process till we got the documentation right. We now have a whole lot of information, which is work item, which becomes user story. And why do I know all this? Continuously working with a team, SDLC phase, every Scrum Master should understand how it works. Discovery, gather analysis with your BA, with your team, three amigos, bring this analysis, make it become a documentation that your customer will sign and say, yes, this is what I want. If they don't sign it, you cannot work on it. You cannot turn it to user story. When they sign it, you're like, yeah, now we can get to work. Now the BA break down this work with the PO, make it become user stories. These user stories, they fill it in the backlog. Fill it in the backlog, you join your BA, now do refinement. What are we working on first? We begin to estimate with the team and plan a sprint. Refinement, prioritization will make you pick the first thing priority that we're working on. You know, if you are building a car, you maybe start with the foundation of the car, where the tire is. You don't start from the windshield. You know, there's nothing to put windshield, right? So we start prioritize the backlog. I am there with the team, help them prioritize, tell them how to estimate, so we don't overestimate, so we don't underestimate. These are some of the processes I supported them. Then now we have the user stories. In a sprint, we start a sprint. During the sprint, I support the team all through daily Scrum, sprint review, retrospective. I facilitated these events. I made sure that impediment, I track impediment, track dependencies. Again, how do I track dependencies? Because we already have requirements, right? We have everything to build the Jaguar. We have everything. We got them in the BROD through discovery phase. Now I begin to tell my PO, support my PO, please, let's look at dependency. You know, when we build this Jaguar, we need somebody to spray this car. We need somebody to do this. I tell the PO, 3 sprints ahead, let's begin to communicate with the key pointers people will work with. And in the migration environment, you know, because we're doing migration, we're going to collaborate with cloud team and which other team, and we communicate with them three sprints ahead, so there's no disappointment. And yeah, it was interesting phase. Like I said, so much to talk about. Then we get to designing, because we're migrating from one point to another. We design the new space, the new space in the new SharePoint, because we want to shut down the old one. And then we begin to test to make sure what we're doing makes sense. When we test, everything is good, workflow good, we get it continuously. We involve the clients because we want them to give us validation. Yeah, you're good, to avoid waste, to avoid throwing back all these items into the backlog. And at the end of the day, after testing and the customer is like, yeah, everything is good, we do final migration. And then we shut down the old site. Now the new site is running. And this is site, when I say site, it's like millions of workflow going out there. It's really complex environment. That's why our discovery took so much time. And I'll go through all the phases with the team. It's not tiring, it's a lot, but it's just interesting. But it's a lot of work, but it's not tiring. It looks like I'm doing a whole lot. Yeah, it's a lot, but it's just one process. You go through all the phases, and the phases you don't go through, maybe you're not needed there. They're already matured in that phase. And just supporting the team all through the process, and we do the final migration and shut down the old site, and now doing training, ready for sign off. And a few days ago, we sign off, gave the clients access permission to the new site. We did a good job, even though we went back and forth with the client, but we did a good job, and we were able to finish the first feature, because first release, I will call it, because in the backlog, every feature is a release and they all go with timeline. So yes, after this first feature, my contract ended, and I'm in the market because I think I want something better. But this is a run through of the last project I worked in my team. The last project I had in my team, and I worked with the team. It went really well. It was really a lot of process, but it was good project, and we were able to meet our timeline and meet our project goal, not just sprint goal. It was a project goal. So yes, that's about it, and yeah, it was really awesome. The client was very satisfied. Yes, again, thank you for that question. Wow, I love how you broke down the whole process. And yeah, this goes for all migration process, right? Yes, all migration process start from discovery to maintenance. And sometimes even the maintenance, you have to have some specific time you have to be around, in case something go bad, they call you back. But after that certain grace period, you can go whenever they need you. They have to kind of come back to the organization to from an organization level to ask the team to come back to work. Then it's not part of the SOW, the scope of work for the first time of migrating. It's now like a fresh work. Wow, that is awesome. I have one last question because it's 11:55. One last question that I want to ask you, then I will let you ask me a question. So I would say, what are your strengths and your weaknesses? What would you say is your strength and your weaknesses as a Scrum Master? Wow. I again, this is a very interesting question. I love it. And for my weaknesses, I'll start with my weaknesses. I'll say I'm working on it, and it's something that I kind of notice. I'm this kind of person who want to overcome it. Personally, I'm an overworker. I can work over the hours and get burnout. I'm trying to find a balance, and it's working. I am an overachiever. I can plan so much on my plate, and at the end of the day, Scrum is teaching me that it's not the amount that is done, it's the amount of good work that is done. Is not the amount that is done overall. It's the amount of the good work that you do. You have to make sure what you're bringing out is good, it's effective, it's adding value, even if it's 5. It's better than having 20 work and they are all halfway done. So Scrum and Agile is teaching me to, make prioritize my work and not overcome it. And that's what I apply to my team too. It's not by filling the sprint backlog with 200 stories and we didn't meet the goal. It's about committing to what you can actually finish at the end of the sprint. So yeah, that is kind of my weakness. I overcome it. I overwork. I can work past office hours. I never get tired. And sometimes I tell myself that that you need to rest, right? Yes, so I am an overworker, overachiever, and that is how I'm built. But I'm getting to just keep some work and do what you can accommodate. Then for my strength, I have so many skills that I discovered even while in the nursing environment. I'm a great communicator. I light up a place when I go into a place. Again, I'm an overachiever. I love that about myself, because when you set your limits very high, you're not going to fall down all that low. At least you will meet a lot of goals. Why falling? You'll be like, yeah, I did this, I did that. I personally set a goal this year, 6 goals, 6 big goals. And I knew they were really, really big goals, but I was able to achieve half of it, 3. And these were mega goals. And I was really, really happy. I'm a great communicator. I have great skills in removing conflict from environments. I always build great relationship when I go to environment. And with all these skills, I've been able to help teams meet their goals and their timeline. These have been great skills and great skill set that I attribute to myself. And also over the years, I discovered that I have great way of transferring knowledge. I've really helped my team so much. Some came from a waterfall environment where they don't know how to collaborate. I've really helped my BAs especially, who came from waterfall. They didn't know how to do KN, knowledge transfer. I have this great ability to help people transfer knowledge, to coach, to mentor, even without being overbearing. I have all these skill set, and they have helped me as a Scrum Master, as a human, to help my organization, help my family, help friends around me. And I continue to improve on myself. So yeah, these are some of the great attributes I can speak about. There's more, but for now, these are some of the great attributes that are they stand out. And I'm really happy they have helped me over the years. Wow, thank you for this interview, Tracy Tolota, right? I'm asking your name. Yes, that's my name, Tracy Tolota. Now, do you have any question you want to ask me as an interviewer? Do you have any question you want to ask? Yeah, I always have 2 very important questions that I love to ask. Because over the years, my experience has made me understand that over time, most of my questions will be answered as I observe my team. But before I get into a new team, I'd like to know what is your main framework? Because sometimes during the interview, you get Scrum interview, but you go to the environment, it's Scrum or Kanban. Yeah, knowing the main framework that organization is going to be using really helps me, helps my expectation and help me prepare to day one. It helps me prepare day one how to approach my team without asking the team. So I like to ask from the recruiter or the management, what is the main framework? And are you supporting that framework, team level, enterprise level, or organization level? So yeah. Wow, that's a good question. And I think the main framework is Scrum, but organization level, they are moving from waterfall to agile. And so the team level is Scrum. And also I will also let the hiring manager, the one who makes the final conclusion, send you an email of the different level, what's going on in the management level. But I think the management level is waterfall and they're trying to move to agile. But the team level, they already love adopted agile because they had a Scrum Master before and love the process. Now they need a new Scrum Master. But again, I will get more clarity, as we're in the last phase of the interview. I'll get more clarity and they'll reach out to you when I think they are ready to move forward in whatever decision they make. Wow, awesome. Yes, I will be really glad to know. That would be great. And secondly, the other question I have again, it's really important. They looks like they're really easy question, but they really help me. They help my expectation for the team. There are other complex questions, but again, I'm not going to go into complex question because as I get into the environment, I begin to get more visibility and get answers to my complex questions. But if they need be, I'll ask them then. But now it's what are their collaborating tools and what are their tools for their ALM tools, the tools they use in managing their software. I would like to know ahead of time. It really, really helps me. Oh, great. I think so far in the job description, I know they have it there that they're going to be using Jira to manage the project. And I don't know if it's Jira Align. I know it's just Jira I saw there. And secondly, their collaborating tools is going to be Miro. And I don't know if it's Teams, but if they're going to add Teams, but I see Miro and Jira. Wow, wonderful question, wonderful answer. Thank you so much. That's all my question for today. If I have more complex question, as we go further during the whole process of this interview, I will send an email to you. And yeah, that's it. Awesome. Thank you, Tracy. And that was a great session. And I'm going to talk to the hiring manager and they're going to reach out to you so we'll know what's next. But again, thank you for, coming to this interview. And thank you for all the sharing your experience and sharing your answers to my numerous questions. Yes, team, we're done with this interview. I felt like I just went to interview, man. Now you can unmute and ask 1 or 2 questions so we can go get the recording to you all. Again, these questions are real interview questions somebody experienced this week. Man, they were tactical, they were detailed questions, like all environment questions, no joke. These people are not joking now. As I'm answering this question, I had to take my brain mentally travel to my team. And they are asking people, not being in a team, this is crazy. But learn the environment, learn the verbiage, be confident, speak these things, and get these jobs. A lot of people in the class who got the job, and one of the lady, Excel, she called Estella. Yeah, she called me on Saturday just to say, hey, coach. She was just excited. She got a job from our last interview prep. December, she got a job, and but she was promoted agile coach immediately during the interview. You know what she said? She said, coach, they are doing agile. They interview me for Scrum. I got there, they are doing agile. I say, are you trying to bring any transformation roadmap? She said, coach, I'm just trying to enjoy myself this place. I'm not even dragging with them right now. But they are doing waja. In short, even the management is doing waterfall. We burst into laughing. These are the questions you want to ask them to prepare yourself. If not, you'll be surprised. And she said, we claim that we've been a Scrum Master for years. So I'm just going slow and steady with the team. So many things she shared with me. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you that just be ready to speak the right verbiage, and know if you're doing know that you're not ready. If you stammer, you're not ready. Don't stammer. Even when you stammer, the next point you will give, let it be like a bomb. Stammer to give them a bomb. Very solid word. Everything I speak now is best practice. What's actually going on in the organization. Organization cannot get organization to teach them. That's why they are getting you. But any organization that's doing real agile, like my organization is doing 110 agile. We put a project roadmap together. They say it's not agile enough. I'm like, good, now we're talking. I love this team. Whereas was the first round of interview, second round? I don't know. This is all make do interview, so we don't have a first or second round. Whereas I've been in an environment where they were doing waterfall. They're asking me to put a project plan together. Give them bomb if you stammer. Better bring it. You stammer, if you just do, if you stutter, like America talking, I keep missing Nigeria and America. Guess what? It is what it is. I'm in Nigeria. If you're stuttering, make sure your next line is going to be like a bomb. They'll be like, wow, good. Maybe you're stuttering to remember, but try not to stutter. That's why you memorize these terminologies. And the right verbiage and the right body language. Oh, there's something I wanted to say just now. Yeah. So the interviews now, they're very, very detailed. They really, really want experience. If you're still stuttering or you're scared, that's why I record this session. Please memorize them and give them the right word. Don't underestimate what they want to. Don't underestimate these interviews. Yeah, the lady I'm saying, she was very good during the interview and she got an agile coach. You can do that. You can get that done. And go one video at a time. Click one video, listen to it, write it. Understanding how I answer the questions will help you. Understanding why I answer the questions will really help you. Again, when they ask you a question, listen to the question. They might ask 3 questions in one. They will ask 3 questions in one. Tell them thank you and answer them gradually. That's why I'm sharing my experience with you. You've not worked as a Scrum Master today. That's why I'm mentoring you, to tell you best practice. You can actually answer this question without saying I did it, but coach these people best practice. Like, oh, if somebody is not coming to an interview, what do? You'd be like, best practice. I want to always have a transformational roadmap. They will be looking at you. I learned that when I went for Agile Coach class. I didn't know that as a Scrum Master. As a true leader, now we're no longer just Scrum Master. We're no longer servant leader. That's old. We're not true leaders. They just promoted us. When I went to Agile Coach certification, they told us, whenever you say as a Scrum Master, as a servant leader and a true leader, according to Scrum, how we are addressed now. We're true leaders because we don't overcommit, we don't do command and control, but we're also able to help team become a high-performing team. I build relationship. I have an agile transformation roadmap, make it visible to team level, organization level, and I have come and collaborate. When you don't want to lie, give them best practice. Always say best practice. But again, if you go there and say, I'm a customer service and I want to become a Scrum Master, don't bring your role, your past role, don't put it on their face. You can, I told you, when you are a customer service or merge it with Scrum Master. You're practicing Scrum as a customer service. So always say as a customer service stroke Scrum Master, because I facilitate, I have meetings with my team. I always do inspect and adapt with my team, at my workplace. I've been practicing Scrum. Again, they want you to be working as a Scrum Master, and that's their own anti-pattern. They want you to have experience. You don't ask me why. You know it, that they want you to have experience. They want it. That's the only way they will hire you. But if you want to say you don't have experience, be able to coach them best practice. Listen to the videos and pick what I have said and say, oh, how do you track dependency? Best practice as a Scrum Master. I don't work in a software environment now, but as a Scrum Master, you track dependency, you are proactive 3 sprints back. You're not sitting down waiting for the dependency to hit your team. You support your PO or your BA. Let's plan sprint back during story mapping, during when you're writing user stories from requirement section, from the BRD documentation. Begin to look at those people that you work with. If you coach them, tell them best practice, they will still give you the job. Pray. If you don't want to lie, you got to pray. Even when you lie, say, God, mercy, 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 show me favor. It's an anti-pattern from there. And that is why I want everyone here to get a job. So when we become release trained engineer, we become agile coach, senior agile coach, we'll be able to influence scrum.org to have mentoring program after this annoying 2 days certification that doesn't offer nothing. They say, oh, hallelujah, you're not a Scrum Master. You're not. You're just a Scrum. I call them Scrum professional. Yeah, that's what I call them, Scrum professional, not a Scrum Master. When they say they don't add master to your name. Yes, the organization collect a lot. They say they make billions of dollars, but they are not creating masters. They are creating Scrum professionals. An organization rejects Scrum professionals. They want you to lie. So you're going to go between you and God. Lord, show me mercy. I want to go speak this best practice. Show me favor. It's only God that can make that happen. Even when you tell them you have 5 years experience, please pray for favor. Again, I always use this Bible situation. And the system can put people in a bad place, and the sin is on them. Once you get a job, learn the environment, and let's all strive to change the system. If Scrum.org can give people internship, we just finished internship class this morning. People are actually in the class now writing their first user story, just like they would do in a team. Next week, we'll plan a sprint and do our daily Scrum. Everything we'll do in the environment. If Scrum.org and Scrum Alliance, which are the pioneers of Scrum, if they can give people internship, 2 months internship, they will hire you, because you're not Scrum professional again, you're then a master. Yeah, there's so much gap to close. Pray, and learn the verbiage. 18 people got the job, just this process. I tell them, pray and learn my experience. Go speak it. Not until last week. Only last week, nobody got a job last week. Well, especially this week we're entering, you will see somebody will get a job. Every week for a while now, 1 or 2% gets a job. I think God is showing us favor and mercy. Don't do anything without praying. If you're not a Christian, just know that this is a Christian-based platform. God has brought me this far. God showed me mercy when I got in. I got in. When I got in, I didn't get in telling them that I don't have experience. But I was not sleeping. No, my husband is here. I was not sleeping. Then I knew all the teachers on YouTube. I have 4 coaches, Canada, US, 2 in America. Man, everybody greet my husband. He was just paying coach back and forth. Man, after paying school fees out of the pocket for nursing, I dropped out of the class, enter IT. That's way back before lockdown. So, but again, hard work pays, and pray. If you don't do the hard work and you pray, it won't work. If you do the hard work, you don't pray, it won't work. Add both together, pray for mercy and do the hard work. And when I call it hard work, just understand the verbiage, the language, understand what you need to say. Do 1 video at a time. There's too many videos. I have too many content to help you get a job. 18 people, 3 months. This is more than favor. So you have a place to bring another 18 people from this new class, or everybody should get a job. We're like 23, But again, just put the work in and be very, very, be a lover of Scrum. Love Scrum, love Agile. Who wouldn't love Agile? I know there's so many, you've gone through so much and you're kind of discouraged, but you have to love Agile to be able to speak well about it. So yeah, that's the encouraging words I want to give you guys. Mercy on us, Lord. If we do that, will they need to confirm the company or reference? Chantel, you have so many questions. Drop them in the class. I'll tell you how this goes. For the 18 people. So you'll be fine. Yeah, coach, I would like to see you on video in our subsequent classes. She will talk. See you talk. Your body expression helps build confidence. I have my body language in 10 videos already. Get the job, my dear. Go get the job, Nadine. Yes. I have my, I have my video in all my image in all the videos. So, and at the end of the day, yeah, I'll try next week. Chantel, I want to know the same, because from customer service, yeah, doesn't matter. I was from healthcare. What if you do not have work for Scrum? Yes, 18 people that have not worked in Scrum before they got the job. Only 2 were Scrum masters who were kind of struggling to get back. This coach will not keep me stammer to give them a bomb. Yes. If you stammer, make sure you bring it on. Was this a first round interview, second round? Last round, they call this technical. It's really not technical. But they'll call it, we're going to the functional or technical interview. This is how it goes. You're going to tell story. You don't want you to tell story that you didn't know. I wish somebody would go to interview and be like, they'll say, can you tell me how did you remove conflict? You'll be like, have I worked before? I know the thing, but you are asking me where I've not done. What's wrong with you? Please stop. I wish somebody would tell them like that someday. I will be asking somebody conflict and they've not worked before. So yes, it's the last stage interview and they're going to keep asking you what you've not done before. Somebody needs to tell this organization that they need to stop that. I did drop the link in, but okay. I got a question like, how did you support IT project and programs? How do you support project? That's what I gave this answer today. You see it in the video, how you support your team SDLC phase through the whole phase of the project from beginning to the end. I broke it down. Love the intro. Can you give key points to build on this own intro like an expert? Yes, the key points, I will drop it again in the class. I always drop it in the old class. Different between TDD and BDD. Oh, we're gonna Google that. Those are another framework. They are like SDLC phases. Are those both impact the product? Okay, I'm gonna drop that in the class. But those are all phases in a Scrum team. In a Scrum, some you can use the SDLC, you can use TDD, or you do BDD. I will drop that in the class. Is technical interview same as the final round? What are the technical questions? They're never going to ask you about code. If they ask you about code, almost tell a guy, I need to leave this interview because I'm a Scrum Master, a process improver, agile Scrum Master, project management, agile project manager, not a tester or a QA. So yes, when they say technical interview, it's always going to be scenario interview. I did. Thank you so much. Help. Do much. Okay. Yes, coach, your video sync more than in the brain with your question. Don't go and get the job. Be waiting for my video. This week, I need 2 people get a job. If you want my video, go click my old video. Get the verbiage. Your video sync more into the brain with your gesticulation and paparazzi. You guys are making me laugh. Next week. But I really, really want you guys to get the words. Yeah. And if you want to know my video, Scrum again. Scrum and Agile. Scrum is a very small framework. Everything I answered today might just be a different flow, but everything, check the whole video, the same process. I cannot tell you today that you want to remove impediments, you want to remove dependency, then you are going to remove it during daily Scrum. It's always going to be being proactive. But you know what is the secret of mentoring and learning this thing for 5 weeks? I think we're in the 3rd week now. We have 2 weeks to go. You know why we repeat this thing? To nail it in every format. Show video, no video, and bring back the video. We want, when you keep saying, somebody keeps singing a song in your compound that you don't like, you sing the song when the person stops singing the song. The day the person did not sing the song, you say, where's that annoying woman singing, rain, rain, go away. She didn't sing. They'll be like, you say you don't like the song, but you're singing it. That is how brain works. Scrum is very small framework. Everything we do in organization cannot get another organization to train them. They will have done that. Because the organization that got Agile, they got it already. But now they're going to get Grace. They're going to get Timo. They're going to want to get Nene. They're going to get Tracy, Mary, Nikki, Dolakbo. They want to pay you Zenab, Laura, Faloni, Chantel, Nadine. They want to pay you because they cannot pay my organization to come teach them. No. Organization don't want to. Information is worth. They're not going to share it with anybody. So now they're going to pay you Grace to come teach them. So why do we repeat these things and bring more questions, repeat them? This Scrum is a life cycle. SDLC is cycle. When we reach migration, what do we do again? Back to daily Scrum. Again, sprint planning. I'm singing this story every day to nail it so that you will understand the story. Listen to one video at a time. Write some things down. Repeat it to yourself in the mirror. Go to another video, you find out. Anytime if you watch a video and what I'm saying is like, no, that's not what I'm saying in another video. Know that I missed it. Even if I deviate a little, I'm adding to it because Scrum improve. The way they track impediment before, the dependency before, they kind of write it down on the ADO. Now they roll out a new feature which says dependency tracker, and I have it in the video on ADO. It's really, really new, where you have predecessor releases and all that. So check this video. Remember the verbiage one at a time. Again, if your introduction is very good, risk, your conflict management, dependency, impediments, you answer them well. You have done a whole lot of, you've done well in that technical interview, which is the last phase. The first phase interview is always your introduction, one or two things. Second phase interview might be your last phase. Second phase interview, it's very similar to your last phase. So when you prepare well for your last phase interview, the very hard one, you really close a lot of gap. Again, one thing they ask in our interviews, what's the difference between Agile and Scrum? Please, all these are in the Scrum guide. Apart from what we teach in this guide, Agile is a mindset. It contains a lot of framework. There's so many Scrum guide generic question. I expect by now you guys know all that. It is the functional, the technical question that's kind of hurting a lot of people. When they say define Scrum, a light framework used in managing complex projects. Don't expect me to sing that every day in this interview, because you can just find that in Google. So apart from the functional question we're learning here, the technical question here, know your first phase interview. They are very easy questions, which you can just know ahead of time. The ones you cannot find on Google, tell me about your project, type it in Google. They will talk nonsense to read. They don't know what you're talking about. That's why I'm telling you about my metadata. I'm not calling any organization name. We're migrating metadatas. Metadatas are data that contain other data. You see all this AT&T, all this utility, all this bank, they have metadatas. If you see their URL, their site like this, some of those things contain people, social security, their driver license. Those are metadata. That is URL that contain people information. When you want to migrate that kind of thing, you're very detailed. If not, they can sue you, or they can throw all those your work to backlog if you do not give the right permission. In other words, some people click that thing, it's supposed to say forbidden. You can never see somebody else's social security. The right admin, they click that thing, it will open up. Some of these metadata, if managers open it, they will have a different view. If supervisors open it, they will have a different view. You see how these projects, they go, why you need discovery before you can recover, gather, and pull out a BRD and write our user story and start sprint. Understand this story. Let it become like music. That's why I nail it every session. And this should be the third session. Next week, I will be putting people on the spot. I will go in the class and put very detailed bullet points, like 1, 2, 3 of your introduction. Please, this week, I want a solid introduction from everybody, like everybody. It's next week, I will make it a 2-hour session. This is 1.5 hours, right? 1.5 hours, 2-hour session. I want to hear a solid interview. Yes, we're all going to be on camera because that body language will kind of show up, because we have maybe after that Friday, after that last class on Friday, the next thing we need, so we get an interview, we evoke the spirit of Agile. So the next thing we need will be revision, resume, getting more into asking you guys, because right now, after that Friday, we must have gone round and round. Even though 1 hour we can use it to do introduction, everybody, the other 1 hour I will go into random question again. So please, this week, don't play with your interview. Your interview is very important, and I don't want you to stutter. I don't want you to stutter. No, nobody should stutter on Saturday. We had some session like that weeks ago. Oh my God. He's not here. Jermaine, they had a very wonderful introduction. I think I shared it in the class. And we're going to get to that level. I will drop it in the class, and you can unmute your mic so we can end the class for today, and let's get some jobs, more jobs this January. And anybody have not worked on their resume, drop your resume. Tomorrow, I know it's off day. You guys can test me tired. I will not answer. I will just post church picture, fine picture on your page and run out of there. Trust me, I'll say that I'll stay. I'll still answer questions. We're not going to do work on Saturday, on Sunday, but this evening I will look at resumes, and please make sure you know this. Build your introduction this coming week. Solid introduction, very clean one. Let it be like your sweet story, your exciting story about yourself. Build it. I will send the template to the class. All right. That is it for today. Anything you guys want to say?
You mastered it again, Tracy. I ain't just
Thank
telling you that
you.
just because I get one thing. I ain't about blowing nobody's head up just for the heck of it. No, you just like this one,
Thank you,
and then
Tracy. Thank
Thank
you.
yeah,
you for
yeah,
Thank you
listening.
so much.
yeah,
Oh my God, you're
yeah,
good.
Thank
yeah,
Thank you.
you. I want you guys to
yeah,
get this job. Like I'm not playing this.
yeah. I would
Thank
tell
you,
anybody
Tracy.
this
Thank you.
video and the one before
Thank
is
you
the one to
very
look
much.
at.
Thank you. Yes, this video and the one before. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely,
Thank you.
definitely. Yeah, I like this one because you went through the whole transformation part. That was
Yeah.
one you didn't do from the last one, and I
Mhm.
think that's key. If somebody can understand that you can take somebody from